And it looks like we're now ready to go to the police report. Lieutenant Calderwood will be advising it.
Commissioners, are you turning on your microphones?
My microphone's on.
Is on?
Yes.
They are having a hard time listening, so
Okay.
please speak up a little bit.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Can you guys hear me? Okay, so I'm going to give a quick snapshot of what the Carlsbad Police Department's Traffic Division.
Christy, your mic's not on.
Oh, I thought you said
There you
yes.
go.
Okay, can you hear me now? So I'm going to give a quick snapshot of what the Traffic Division has been doing for the month of July. And I'll start off with, you'll see some of these photos if you follow our social media. You probably have seen some of these before. So on July 10th, we had 6 agencies come into Carlsbad for a total of 26 motor officers to do what we call countywide site day. This moves from city to city every single month throughout the entire county. So for next month, it's moving to National City. We were lucky enough to have it in July, which was awesome because of the influx of tourists and what we see on Carlsbad Boulevard. So during that period of time with the 26 motors that we had, they were able to write 268 citations in a 4-hour period.
Wow.
And they just saturated the city. We had them focus on kind of our hot spots of where we receive a lot of complaints, which is Carlsbad Boulevard. They also hit up RSF, Rancho Santa Fe Road, due to the recent serious injury collision that we had there. But they were really all over the entire city. So this is something that we take partnership in with other agencies. We help out their cities and they come to ours. As far as community outreach, at the end of July, just last week on the 27th, we held what we called a bicycle rodeo. We thought it was a huge success. We tried to keep it small and cap it off at 50 registrants. We had 35 official registrants, and then we probably had another 10 to 15 kids show up with their parents that were not registered. So these will probably continue, and we want them to get bigger and bigger. So this is the first one that we've had in about 15 years. And it was awesome. We had the fire department come join up with us. They were handing out free helmets to all the kids. We had bicycle obstacle courses set up with bicycle officers demonstrating how to do it. We had bicycle fittings. We had local business Pedigo show up, and they were giving free bicycle tune-ups. Handles was there selling ice cream. So overall, it was a really cool event just to interact with families and kids in our community that we probably would not interact with during a normal traffic enforcement day. So we are happy to say that we'll probably continue these, and the month of May is the Office of Traffic Safety Bicycle Safety Month for the state of California, so we will definitely be having one in May and most likely another one sometime in between then. Also during the month of July, we had 3 new motors that graduated the LAPD Motor Academy. It's a 2-week course, and usually we send people to the San Bernardino Academy, but that one's temporarily shut down, so they had to go to the LAPD Academy, which is probably the hardest one in the state to pass. And all 3 of our guys came out number 1, 2, 3 in the course, and they won multiple awards. And I think that's attributed to, we have 2 in-house motorcycle trainers that try to get these guys prepared prior to going to the academy, which is, you know, a pretty dangerous thing. A lot of people get injured while they're in the academy, and it's something that while they're out in the field conducting enforcement, we want them to be the safest that they can. So we're pretty proud of their accomplishments while they were there. And then I just kind of wanted to go over Carlsbad Boulevard enforcement, because if you look at Memorial Day to Labor Day, this is really what we consider our big project when it comes to traffic. Our motors are busy with special events and other things during the summer, but we want them to focus on Carlsbad Boulevard. And in between, starting from Memorial Day up until July 30th, they have conducted close to 1,000 traffic stops, but they've issued 216 cites and 245 written warnings. So this operation will continue until Labor Day, and if you look at articles and things, when you look at Memorial Day to Labor Day, in relation to traffic, they actually call it the 100 deadliest days, and on average in the nation, about 116 people die in fatal traffic collisions during this time period. So with the amount of tourists that we have come into our city, the amount of pedestrians, bicyclists, scooters, and motorists, we really try to focus on the boulevard. So we've done things like you can see on the left where we put up those electronic message boards that say enforcement zone ahead. We are trying to tell people we don't want you to get a ticket, but we still have people speeding by that and getting pulled over. But we're trying to do everything that we can in terms of education. We put this stuff up on social media. We have the sign out there. And then we also have our bicycle officers that are not on the motorcycles, but the regular bicycles that are going up and down the boulevard, just trying to talk to pedestrians and educating them on, how the crosswalks work and keep their eyes open. So just wanted to give a little snapshot of what has been occurring on the boulevard. Upcoming in August, one of our motor officers is going to be doing a presentation for the North County Parkinson's Support Group. They actually reached out to us and asked us to come talk to their group, and so we'll be doing that this week on just kind of the driving with Parkinson's and things to consider if you have the disease and when it comes to operating a motor vehicle. Sometimes we encounter people that we think are under the influence, but they're actually having a medical emergency, and this presentation they asked us to come and kind of talk about the safety precautions to take if you are diagnosed with Parkinson's and driving. So it's just kind of a community outreach thing. We are going to be doing a Rancho Santa Fe saturation operation this month, just because of speed complaints and the recent collision we had there last month. And then school is right around the corner, starting on August 28th, so we'll be doing some educational outreach, and we really want to try and get ahead of school starting and getting with the school administration to go to the first couple weeks of school and go to their first assemblies and talk to the kids and do some outreach that way. We're going to, as I said, continue the Carlsbad Boulevard saturation events, if you don't know. So our motors pretty much work every single event in the city, and we staff about 60 events a year right now. So we'll have Art in the Village coming up this weekend that they'll be working, and then we also have our final concerts in the park, which we just finished up at Calavera, and the final two are going to be taking place at Alba Norte this Friday and next Friday. And that's all I have. Does anybody have any questions?
Anyone? Commissioner Fowler?
I have a fun question.
Yes, sir.
So all of our motors are BMWs,
Correct.
and are there any other competitors in that space?
I think Chula Vista and La Mesa have Hondas, I believe. And there's some departments out of state that have Kawasaki's, but BMWs are supposed to be the best of the best, so that's what we have.
I was just curious. You see them all.
What do you drive, sir?
The Chippies went back on motors.
Yeah, and the CHP drives the
I was
Harleys.
hoping for a Moto Guzzi. What are you talking about? Thank you.
Mhm.
Any other comments? Thank you. Oh, excuse me.
No, I just had a question on the saturation on Carlsbad Boulevard. Where are you finding most of the problems? Is it the racetrack down south of Palomar Airport Road, or is it in the village? Or?
I would say most of the problems that we're seeing are from Cannon north to Pine, but now we're actually for the rest of the summer trying to focus south of Cannon because we're trying to deter pedestrians getting hit, and the speed limit down south is higher. It's 50, or you get up to north of Cannon, it drops down to 35. So people don't realize that, and they're speeding, and then there's tons of pedestrians. But what we are seeing is a lot of motorcycle violations down south, where motorcyclists are driving in the bike lane to get past the beach traffic, loud exhaust and things like that. So they're hitting from La Costa all the way up to the North City limits, and they split the team in half. So I've been trying to direct them to kind of hit the south end as well. So yeah, the entire boulevard.
You might take a look at the area in front of the Army Navy Academy,
Mm-hmm.
where northbound traffic, southbound traffic often use the bike lane to create an additional traffic lane.
Right. Yes, that's a big one we've been seeing.
And then that has issues with the crosswalk there too, because then those folks that are using that don't see the pedestrians coming.
Right. I will spread the word.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Commissioner Hunter?
I'm good.
Well, I noticed a few weeks ago there was an accident on Carlsbad Boulevard in Cerezo
Mhm.
where a young man on a motorcycle was following too close to the bus, and the bus tried to pull over at its stop, and unfortunately there was a young mother with 4 children in a cart in the bicycle lane, and when the motorcycle tried to avoid hitting the bus, he hit the back of the cart.
Mhm.
So, but, we can't fix that. But
Yeah, and that's the area that we're seeing a lot of the motorcycle issues because the traffic gets backed up right there at the light
Mhm.
heading northbound, so they'll try and overtake the bicycle lane. I was working that day, luckily it was a minor injury because it
Mhm.
could have been much worse. But yes, we are trying to address that issue in Carlsbad Boulevard in general. All year round, we really are present there, but we try to saturate it and create visibility just to deter things like that from happening.
that's great. Thank you.
Thank you.